first full day here in Da Nang. It's currently about 11 o'clock. I was waiting for the clouds to pass by as today we are going to Marble Mountains. Just come and check out the cathedral. It's absolutely stunning, but one word of advice: if you do come here, don't stop for anyone. I've just been stopped to do a questionnaire, and the next minute they want a lot of money out of you. Get very angry if you don't give them any. I'll actually try and show you the person so you can keep a lookout for them. Once again, back at my favourite place, the bus stop. And once again that bus was overpricing, ripping people off. It didn't get me because I know the price. People in front of me asked the price. I told them 20,000, no more, and they still paid 40 each. So it's a shame, but at least we are here. Just need to find the entrance. Right, so we have arrived, and it does seem like there is quite a lot to do, so best get on with this hike. This is such a nice view, and apparently this isn't even the best view yet. There's a lot higher points to go and reach. It's very warm. That was very steep. So this walkway to what I hope is the highest peak is very steep. It's really, really cool seeing that cave. I believe there's two other caves here for 40,000 entry fee. Can't complain, like. So I'm actually the only one up here at the highest peak right now, and I can see why from that climb up it wasn't easy. It's worth it for the views. The views are absolutely stunning up here. I'll show you. Literally got a 360 view. There's the beach over there, Hoi An that way, the other mountains over there, and then the city down there. Oh. If you do plan on coming to Marble Mountains when it's warm, make sure you bring enough water. I thought I did, I didn't, and then you get charged 30,000 for a tiny bottle. And to put that into context, you can get 4.5 litres for 30,000 in the city. But I need it, it's roasting. Looks like Harry Potter's been here as well. So that was actually a super cool experience, just to go and explore the Marble Mountains. I've actually cut it a bit short because of the weather. It's just literally, people were like lying down up there. It's that warm today. It's about 33 degrees. Just not ideal conditions to explore. But my number one tip that I will pass on to you guys, which I wish I knew before heading up there is actually a supermarket literally across the road that sells the normal 1.5 litre bottles of water for 8,000 dong, in comparison to this which they sell up there, which was 30,000 dong. Let's be honest, it tastes as if it's tap water. Time to head back and catch this mad bus back to Da Nang. Gonna go and get something to eat when I'm back in the city, and then explore the city itself a bit more. So I'm back in the city, just had something sweet, got some banh mi, but I feel really sick, and I think it's just from the heat before on that mountain, and like steep steps, and it's just completely knackered me out. I'm gonna head back to the hostel for a bit, sleep for maybe an hour, and then explore the city a bit more, and I will give you my thoughts on Da Nang from a foreigner, tourist, westerner point of view a bit later on, but I need to go and rest right now. Right, so the last thing you would have seen of me was 2 days ago now, like literally 48 hours ago. And I said I didn't feel too well and I was heading back to where I am now, which is my hostel. I got really, really sick later that day and ended up having to go to the hospital. And by the time I got to the hospital, I felt 10 times worse and ended up pretty much collapsing on the floor. And I was in hospital for about 5 or 6 hours. Essentially, I have a fever which is caused by a mosquito bite, which, for a bit of context, I'll show you the mosquito bite on the screen right now, which is a photo I took a couple of days ago, which I sent back home. And to be fair, it looked bad, but I thought it would pass. I've had quite a few mosquito bites since I've been here. But also in the last clip, I also said I was going to give you my thoughts on Da Nang. And obviously, having been in the hospital, which I'll tell you more about, as I said in a moment, has obviously further increased these feelings, but clearly I wanted to share them with you before any of this even happened. So my plan for being in Da Nang was the day I arrived, I was going to spend one day in the city centre because it was close to where the bus was, which dropped me off. I was going to then go and do Marble Mountains, which is obviously what you've seen I'd done, and the Dragon Bridge, which I'd done the previous day. And then I was going to move to the beach because that's where a lot more tourists are. They are trying to increase tourism here in Da Nang, and obviously a lot of them do go to the beach, but they are also trying to increase it in the city because it's the third biggest city in Vietnam behind Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh. However, I don't really like doing this because I've never actually done it before, but this is probably the least safe and least respected I think I've ever felt it out of anywhere I've ever travelled, to be honest. Everywhere in Vietnam, the locals have been great. They've always wanted to talk to you, help you, just have a chat. Most of the time they do want to sell you things, let's be honest, but it's nice just to have that interaction with them. They always want to know your name, where you're from, where you're going next, how long you're going to be in the country, what you think of the country, what you think of the food, all that stuff. It's really, really nice meeting them. But here I've had quite a large number of interactions with the locals, which has just been not even, I couldn't even describe it as rude, I would just describe it as completely disrespectful. Like, you would never treat another human being like that. So for example, I've been spat at quite a lot. Now, spitting in Vietnam is part of the culture. You get to deal with that. It's the thing that goes on here. At home, no one really just spits in public, but it's completely fine. I'm in their country. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. But when another person spits, another human being, that is incredibly disrespectful. Not only is it just in front of you, if it actually lands on you, which it has done a number of times. I've been spat at least 10 times in this city. I've also had cigarettes thrown at me. Basically, when someone is finished with a cigarette, they throw it on the floor. Perfectly fine with that. People do it at home. You never throw a cigarette, butt, or whatever it's called, at another human being, which has happened quite a few times here to me. And when I've actually spoke to people in Hoi An, they've said the exact same thing about just felt like they were a bit disrespected in the city. And as I said, I don't like doing stuff like this because it's just travel's about enjoying the place and meeting new people, experiencing new things, but this is just like, it's a completely different experience. Every single local stares at you, which you get to deal with. That happens pretty much everywhere. But then they start shouting things at you, pointing at you, shaking their head at you. You're not made to feel like you're welcome. Now, I do want to say, obviously every story does have good things to it. When I actually got to the hospital, this was kind of what further increased my thoughts. I basically was on the floor, struggling to walk, struggling to do anything, and the locals were laughing at me. One kind of pushed me further to the floor before I was literally asking every single person, does anyone speak English, just to try and help me out. They just, obviously, if you don't speak English, completely fine, but you don't need to laugh at someone who's clearly in quite a lot of distress. And then thankfully, a woman named Fo, Oh, a lot here, because at this point I could barely see. I was completely blacking out. She literally took me to where I needed to be. It was like a 5-minute walk away. She had kids with her. She even waited with me to explain to the doctors, because they spoke Vietnamese. I didn't. I speak English, obviously, and she translated everything for me. So obviously there are nice people, and that was just an incredible thing that she done for me. And I doubt this video is ever going to get to her, but if it does, then I just want to say thank you once again. In terms of the hospital, I had all kinds of tests and scans and blood taken and everything. I was there for about 5 or 6 hours. As I said, I've got a type of fever that will pass. I've got medication for it and stuff like that, but it was just a scary moment, especially being on your own and literally no one willing to help you. As I said, I don't want this to influence anyone's decision as to whether they visit this city. In my opinion, knowing what I know now, I probably would have missed it and just stayed in Hoi An and done a day trip to the Marble Mountains and potentially just passed the Dragon Bridge on the way to Hoi An, and that would have been that. Obviously, a lot of people do actually find the city nice to live in, but they do actually live close to the beach, which is away from the city centre. So obviously I can't comment on that. That was my plan, to actually move there for 2 days, but since I ended up in hospital on the first day, I had to stay central to the city centre to essentially make sure I'm close to the hospital in case anything else does happen. I did just want to share this experience and thoughts with you though, because you need to know what's been going on for the past 2 days, because I have literally done nothing. I've stayed in this hostel and ate, and that was about it, and I just didn't feel like going out in the city. Today I do move on to Nha Trang on a night train. It is absolutely lashing down. I don't know whether the camera will do it justice, but it is lashing down. My night train is later. It's in like 9 hours from now, so I'm just going to do a bit of work today at the hostel and kill some time before heading on. It's not spoiled the experience. I'm still really looking forward to having the rest of my time in Vietnam. I've got about 9 days left before heading on to the Philippines. But I did just want to share this experience with you guys, because it was eye-opening and it was something completely different to everything I've experienced so far in Vietnam. I don't like having videos on quite a negative note. Obviously this one has been for quite a large proportion of this video now, but I do want to say, if you did enjoy what was of this video, the Marble Mountains, and then obviously me just explaining things through, be sure to let me know by leaving a like. Put any comments or questions down below in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to them. Follow me on Instagram, because then you will know whereabouts I am at this moment in time, because as I said, I am well behind on vlogs, and this hospital situation hasn't helped anything at all. And obviously if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. But thank you for watching, guys. Till next time, goodbye.